Right.
We are recording.
Yay! What's up, y'all?
Welcome to Two Black Girls, One Rose.
Where two black-ass girls invade the whitest show on earth.
The Bachelor.
I'm Natasha.
And I am Justine.
And we have a special guest who will be joining us a little bit later.
Yay!
We are going to be chatting with Diggy. Mm-hmm. He was from Rachel's season. He went home week 4. Very premature, I think.
Very.
He was definitely someone that we all wanted to see more of. Mm-hmm. He's very good looking.
Yep.
He can dress nice.
Yeah.
And
we got to know him in his little video.
Little intro thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then he went home before we could even get to know him, so that sucks. But then he also appeared on Bachelor in Paradise, mm-hmm. where we definitely got to know him a little bit more. Diggy also is probably one of the best live tweeters of the show. For sure. He's fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. So if you don't follow him on Twitter, definitely go and do that. And we're just super excited to have him. He's our first male guest. Yeah. So you know we gonna pick the shit out of his brain. He was also on Rachel's season, which was a historic season. Yep. For many reasons. And so, yeah, we definitely dive into all of that. So stay tuned. Mm-hmm. We also just want to remind you guys to rate, review, subscribe. If you are listening to us every day and you have not hit that 5-star yet,
oh my gosh, please.
Please do it. And then take another 3 seconds and leave us a nice little review. Yeah. Much appreciated.
It gives us oxygen to do this podcast, for real.
Truly, guys. We need it. We need the energy. Mm-hmm. And it comes from y'all when you say nice things for us.
Yeah. So nice. Woo woo. And we have
some church announcements.
Some church announcements this week.
What about your program?
We have a couple of emails. We have Diane, Laura, Allison, and Anissa, all 4 girls, emailed us telling us about how they've joined our community of Bachelor watching crazies and how they're happy we're around and all that stuff. So thank you guys for the love.
Appreciate you. Definitely continue to send us emails and hit us up on Twitter as well. Even though the show's not on, we're still out here tweeting every now and then. Mm-hmm. Our Twitter handle is the number 2 BLK girls, the number 1 Rose.
And our email is the number 2 black girls, the number 1 Rose @gmail.com.
And so before we get into, we got some, Bachelor news. Mm-hmm. We definitely want to have a little chat about the interview last week with Lauren G. Kind of give some of our takeaways. We do have to announce that Justine and I will be taking a 2-week hiatus.
Just a little break.
Just a little break, y'all. I need to breathe.
My eyes closed for long just thinking about the break.
We'll be back. We will definitely be back with more goodness, but we'll be gone for a smooth 2 weeks.
Yes.
So that's why we won't be around.
Yeah. Sorry. So just, catch up on some reruns.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Yeah, but stay tuned.
All right. You know what time it is?
Oh, girl.
Lord, time for the Peter and Eric update. Oh, jeez. Not sure how long we're gonna do this.
I don't know. Anymore, we might have to pick new ones.
These niggas ain't doing jack shit.
They don't do anything.
I'll go first.
Okay.
My boo Peter, he's still out here posting them thirst traps.
Ooh.
Justine messaged me one today.
Yo, he posted one today.
Justine always does this because she knows this is my husband. Just sends me I get a little, a little notification in the Twitter mailbox or whatever, and I'm like, oh, what's this? It's a thirst trap from Peter.
With an emoji just a skull emoji.
Right, from her. He's looking fine as always. He's selling caffeinated gum, which I didn't even see the gum in the photo.
No.
It was like the soft small in the corner. We were looking at them abs, man. Them abs. But yeah, that's it. That's Peter.
Yeah. Eric has been out here podcasting. He had Becca M on his podcast. Oh. Where they talked about ageism. Shocker.
Ageism. God, she's still on that. I'm ready, guys.
It's not even I'm ready. Just don't say that I'm 22.
Don't judge me.
Don't judge me.
Oh my god.
I guess. I don't know that young lady, but it seems like that's her whole thing.
That's the thing she's riding with.
Yeah, her whole narrative, and I feel like there's more to her.
Yeah.
I feel like there's way more to her
I think
than
we need
just
to
like...
dead the age thing.
Yeah.
But she's about to be on Bachelor in Paradise.
For
like,
sure.
Almost positive. And if they're still talking about the Becca being 22, or she'll be 23 at that point, like, we're over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, were they talking about anything else?
No, it didn't seem like it. And then today, for next week's episode, he had Sheena from Vanderpump Rules.
Ooh, that is my jam, y'all. Do you guys watch Vanderpump Rules? That is my jam.
And you know what? Every Ivy Leaguer that I know watches Vanderpump Rules like crazy.
Yep, right there.
So, yeah. So maybe I should start watching.
You should. That shit is so messy.
It is.
Because they're old as dust. And not one of them has their life together. They barely have air conditioning in their apartments. Truly. Old as hell. It's like season 7 of Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
And they're still out there full-time hostessing at Sir.
Yep.
And every now and then somebody has like a little hustle that they're trying to push, but it never gets off the ground. Like, they're just like the worst at trying to turn their reality fame into anything.
Right. You have reality fame.
Right.
And then you just are still hostessing.
Full time.
Full time.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
That's my shit though.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Truly
Sheena will be on the podcast. I don't know if we want to hear her and not see her.
He's
taking away that element.
He's interviewing some interesting people.
He's, I'm sure, interviewing anyone he can get.
Aww.
I'm sure.
Aw, Eric.
Well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Out here in the
He has like a boss and stuff.
A boss?
Well, because he works for like a podcasting network.
Oh, right.
You know?
So they have to source people for it.
Yeah, and he's got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to book somebody every week. So.
Interesting. Okay, Eric.
Yeah.
Still out here though.
Mm-hmm.
We see ya.
Yeah.
In Bachelorette news, so we're transitioning now.
Yep.
No more Bachelor news. Bachelorette news. I got a lot of news. So Becca was on the Ellen Show and revealed that her celebrity crush is Michael Strahan.
Yay!
So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know if she's ever dated a black guy.
Especially like Michael Strahan, girl.
He's fine, but he's corny.
Fine. That's it.
Yeah. He's a little bit corny.
And seems a little... Anyway, continue.
So yeah, I heard that. I was like, okay, what does that mean?
You're right.
Because you know when they cast for the show, they act like, what are you looking for, whatever. You know, who's your celebrity crush, I'm sure. So I don't know if this is foreshadowing for a whole league of black guys.
Yeah, maybe.
Or what. I do have some info on that. So
Okay.
So yeah, first little tidbit. And then, so for like, this is a little tiny spoiler alert, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about some guys now that are on the season. So if you don't want to know, skip ahead a couple minutes, I guess. So she, on her cast, has 3 professional athletes.
No.
Yes. The first is Colton Underwood.
Relax. Whoa.
The name just scared you.
He sounds like he drives a tractor only.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's on Farmers Only. Oh my god.
FarmersOnly.com. And then the Colton's like, they're like, yeah, man, that's me. Colton Underwood, he's an NFL free agent. He used to play for the Chargers.
Okay.
He used to also date Arie Raceman.
Nope.
Who's that? She's the Olympic gymnast in the U.S.
Oh,
team.
shit.
Yes, big time.
Oh.
So they dated for like a hot millisecond.
Okay.
He's on the show. Second athlete is New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Clay Harbor.
Okay, Clay.
Who is a brother.
All right, Clay.
He ain't my type.
Okay.
But
All right, I'll have to Google him later.
he's a red bone. You know, we like chocolate.
Oh, yeah, no, we like him dark.
Burnt chocolate.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He's not bad looking, but he's there. He's like on the injured list right now, so he has some free time.
Okay. So he's getting on The Bachelorette.
On The Bachelorette. According to Us Weekly, he applied for the show. Like, he wasn't even like sought out. According to Us Weekly, which, you know. So
right.
I don't know. But, so he submitted his little application, like everybody. Like,
that's terrible.
applying for a job. And then the third guy is a Harlem Globetrotter, Chris Staples.
That's an athlete still?
The Harlem Globetrotters? Bitch! Are you serious? Hell yeah! You see what they can do?
It was like almost like dancers.
Yeah, we're doing some crazy ass shit on the court. Get out of here. And they play. They do tricks and stuff. It's like a show.
Yes.
But they literally play basketball.
See, I've never seen them live.
Oh, yeah.
I think of them as like Alvin Ailey, but with different outfits.
Oh, God. Alvin Ailey, who are athletes as well.
No, they are athletes, but
say?
they're dancers.
Yeah, but athletes.
Okay.
Don't be shading these people. But, so yeah, 3 athletes on the show.
That's a lot.
A lot.
All right, Becca.
But yeah.
Out
here. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Messy ass Mike Fleiss, the producer, creator.
Oh my God.
Who just be on Instagram posting craziness. He posted a bunch of like random behind the scenes like photos. There's a guy that shows up in a chicken suit.
Nope. You're already done.
Yep. The banjo guy is there wearing the same floral jacket.
Why?
I don't know.
Probably because he just got out of college and can't afford another jacket.
Dude. You said that. He looks like he's fresh out of like undergrad.
Yeah.
He does look.
He looks young.
Kind of young, yeah. So he there, and he posted a bunch of other random pics. Mm-hmm. I counted 6 black men so far.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean 6 out of 30, but there might be some other ones that weren't in the photos.
Exactly,
so.
And for a girl from Minnesota
who likes Michael Strahan though.
Yeah, she likes Michael Strahan.
So she might have told them, look, you're gonna throw some brothers in this mix. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, they also showed justjared.com, the little gossip site, had pics of her on a date, and Brian and Rachel make an appearance.
For what?
Something. I don't know. And I called him I didn't call him Joanne the Scammer.
You know what? We're progressing.
God
is working on all of us.
Yes, we are doing well.
Yeah.
So they make an appearance on a group date, so something to look forward to. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that.
I'm talking about the season overall.
I'm excited to watch Rachel at any time.
Yeah, Rachel, yeah. I could, I guess, whatever. I'm excited for this season, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's going to be, it seems like there's going to be definitely some more diversity. I think they're going to keep that up. Arie's cast of girls was definitely one of the, it was the most diverse cast of girls, I think.
Oh, yeah, The Bachelor, yeah.
It still wasn't enough for us, but it was a lot for Bachelor standards. And counting 6 black dudes already.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into Lauren G. That, if you guys have not listened to that episode,
please go back
and listen. If you're just tuning in for Diggy or what have you, go back and listen to that Lauren G. That is my favorite episode, I think, that we've done. Yeah. Because she really spills a lot of tea.
All of it.
A whole bunch of tea, insights of how they produced this show, and she really gave a really cool insight into being a black woman on this show. Yeah. And in this very white space. And just all of that. So definitely go back and listen to. I listened to that episode like 2-3 times. I was like, I gotta catch this and catch that. Yeah. So it was really cool. What were some of your like takeaways from that episode or from that interview that you want to talk about?
I would say that because she didn't play into this narrative that they gave her, right? That she isn't, but they gave her.
Like they're trying to peg her
that
as
character of like
trying to peg her
as this, neck rolling, whatever black girl. I can't even articulate what it is because I just can't do it. But she has more than enough personality to go around. And something that I think we said off mic, I don't see, in terms of like creating a character, I don't see that much of a difference between her and Cien. Both smart, beautiful, accomplished women. Black women. Right. Who are just out here killing it. And who are now on the bed. Like, I don't know. It made me almost even foggier as to like what are these producers thinking with these cast of women. They're all amazing.
Yeah. Well, one thing Lauren kept saying though is that she was like, I felt so different.
Yeah.
And then I asked her like explain that, and she's like, well, I'm a little bit more urban. Yeah. And maybe I'm just I don't know CN like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what their backgrounds are, but it sounds as if Lauren G, she has more urban, maybe inner city background, so they were pegging her into that, you know, whatever stereotype of the black girl.
And she does talk different
than a CN. And with CN, she has the Yale.
Yes.
And so they just rode with that.
They did.
They really rode
with
that.
They did right on
and
the
they
Yale.
knew, you know, white America is going to just, like, eat her up. And so let's just, like, push with that. And so I think that's, to us, we don't see the difference.
Yeah.
They're both very accomplished, beautiful, well-spoken women.
Yeah.
With a lot of personality.
Yep.
But I think they were like, they in their white-ass minds of the white producer world, that's how they classify black people.
Right. Yeah.
That's how they do it. You're either, like, more safe, I would say.
Yeah.
You know,
safe meaning, like, absolutely to the T. Perfect.
Right.
Like.
Or, she may be a little bit more urban. I don't know. Maybe let's try and peg her into
so
this
she's
hole.
Ghetto.
Yeah, she's the ghetto one. Let's maybe peg her in this hole. She's not fitting that hole because she ain't ghetto.
Right.
So, and then they just kind of toss her because, you know, they're not getting that character out of her. That's how I saw it.
Yeah. And I was just so happy that we interviewed with her.
Yeah.
And then, sadly, I have to say that some of my fears about my man Eric have come true. Which is that he talks in circles.
Yes.
Around and around.
Talking that, what did she say?
But the moons weren't aligned.
Yeah, the moons are on the line, so I'm not here, like, I'm not looking for love and talking foolishness.
It's just talking foolishness, which is really what I was afraid of.
They got confirmation from someone who's been around
him. Yeah. That he just talks a lot without saying much, which is just the worst. But on his podcast, he does at least ask good questions. At least.
Okay.
I mean, gosh.
I mean, he has to carry a whole show, I would hope.
Yeah. And also, I would love to take a poll as to how many women on Arie's season wanted to go home.
All of them.
All of them, right?
I'm sure they all had a moment.
I'm sure all of them except for Lauren B.
Oh, Lauren B, yeah. No, even she. Remember they had a moment when they were on that one.
Oh my God, she did.
And she was like, something, I don't know if it's worth it. And he was sitting there like, bitch, what?
Yes! And that was like week 3 or something.
I don't even know. They all had a moment.
Wow, every last one of them had a moment like, damn, I can't do this.
Because you have to think, they all went on the show thinking it was going to be Peter.
Yep.
Last minute, they got the news it was going to be Arie. So they had a moment where they had to decide, do I go on the show or do I not? Lauren G started unpacking her bag, remember?
Yes, yeah.
And then last minute, she was like, fine, I should go.
Yeah.
So they all kind of half-heartedly came on the season.
Yeah.
So if anything goes wrong or there's an inkling of not feeling it, they're like, fuck this shit, I want to go home.
Yeah.
And I bet you every last one of them had that moment.
And I would like to know if that happens on every Bachelor season or if it was just how bad this one was.
It's just how bad this one is.
Right?
I think so.
Because who wanted to go home with Nick Viall? Come on, he was great.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always a sprinkling of them.
Yeah.
But most of the girls go on excited for that guy. And already in their head and heart, they're like, I need to fall in love with him.
Yeah, right.
So they're going to fight it out no matter what.
Yes.
But if you're not into him, even off rip, you're trying to find the good in art. I mean, CN and Lauren G were both trying to find the good and find the attraction. Anything goes wrong, they're like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna pack my bags and
I
be
gotta
out.
go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, those are my takeaways.
Okay. For me, so one thing that I disagreed with Lauren in the beginning, and then we came around at the end. When we asked her, you know, why she thinks there's never like a black lead, and she said, you know, you got to pay attention to who watches the show. Most of the viewers are white.
Right.
And then she gave the common narrative that you hear of, you know, well, Rachel, they finally had Rachel, and the ratings dropped. So why would ABC want to do that? Blah 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 blah. One thing I want to be clear on, because they keep bringing this up, the ratings of Rachel, it dropped. You know, why are we gonna do this? Blah 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 blah. Rachel's ratings dropped in comparison to JoJo. JoJo's one of the most popular bachelorettes ever, if you just look at her social media. She
really?
has 2-point-something million followers.
No.
She has more followers than I think anyone in Bachelor Nation.
Wow.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I wasn't even really down for JoJo like that.
What? Okay.
So any Bachelorette following her was gonna take a ratings dip.
Yes. Right.
Period.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah.
I think people forget that, like, who they're comparing her ratings to.
Yeah.
It's to JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think that narrative isn't really floating around that much.
Mm-hmm.
And that people need to pay attention to that. Because just go look at her Instagram. She has more followers than anybody.
Yeah.
Another thing that stuck with me from her interview was, like, how much producer interference there is.
Yeah.
And how much there was, particularly for Lauren, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like, she asked for the race car, they told her no,
Yep.
and then they gave it to Mikkel. The whole asking Arie, has he dated a black girl?
Yeah.
Sounds like there was so much chatter and deliberation behind the scenes. They almost made her feel weird about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or unconfident when she did ask it, because she ended up going home that night and she was like, I don't know if I should have asked it, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then on Winter Games, her and Eric didn't mesh, they sent her home.
And they just sent her home.
Like, just so much interference
and
in her
made
journey.
us think that it was voting.
Right.
When I'm sure
that
it
shit was
wasn't.
fucking rigged.
Yeah.
So that sucks because, like, all of these people paused their life to go on this show. But yet only only, like, the Ashley Eyes and the Deans, particularly on, like, Bachelor Winter Games, like, the spin-off shows, only those ones seem to really get, like, the producer push and support and all of that jazz, which isn't fair.
No.
Like, she stopped her job. She took a leave of absence, too.
Right.
And you can't get her the race car? Like, she's not allowed for that because you don't think that she has a shot, so we're going to give it to somebody else? Like, that's just whack.
Yeah.
And not fair.
And didn't even fit with Mikkel's narrative.
No.
She was from Indy.
That's what I'm saying.
It totally fits.
Lauren G was from the Indy 500 whatever.
Birthplace.
So it would have been perfect for her entrance.
Yep.
And they were like, nah, you're part of our narrative, so.
And had the same bundles.
And had the same beautiful bundles as Mikkel. So yeah, she could have done the same thing.
She could have done the same
Whipped off
thing.
that helmet and flashed that weave.
Yep.
And they wouldn't even allow it. So that was whack. And then the last thing that stuck with me was her talking about being the only black woman at Winter Games. And having that worry, like, if any of the guys are even going to be into girls like me. And that shit sucks.
I know.
Because it's not like all the girls think, oh, is anyone going to like me? Is anyone going to like me?
Yeah,
It's different when you think, is anyone even going to be into girls like me?
Yeah, girls who look like
girls
me.
Girls who look like me.
Yeah.
That's something that the white girls can't relate to.
No.
They've never had that.
Yeah.
So that's something that you kind of have to sit with. I'm imagining, because she was there by herself as a black girl. She's sitting and thinking about that by herself.
Right.
And having that narrative in her own head, like, fuck, does any of these guys even see me?
Right.
Like, do I actually have a shot here?
And it's one thing, there's two sides of that coin, because you're thinking about, like, oh, are all these guys going to be into me, da-da-da. And then if and when I do stay, I'm going to be the only girl who is unwanted.
Yeah.
That is a horrible feeling to go through.
Yeah.
And then you're from Indianapolis, but LA, by way of LA, doing all these fucking winter sports. This shit isn't even fun. It's not like Bachelor in Paradise. You're in Mexico drinking all day.
Exactly.
Like, this is like work.
Just so out of your element.
Yeah, in every way.
In every way.
That's a lot to worry about.
And then it sucks. It's not even like another little black girl there to chat about it. Yeah, to commiserate. So I just imagine her sitting there just like in her head. Like, damn, is anyone looking at me?
Right.
I don't even know. Like, just that doubt. Because who knows? The guys could have found her to be lovely and beautiful and whatnot, but that thought is still going to be in your head. Like, regardless. And then not be able to relate with anyone fucking sucks.
Yep.
It made me think, so I'm in a book club, you know.
Yes.
I'm in my book club, guys. The second year of our book club with girls from grad school.
So cute.
It's mostly white girls. For most of it, I was the only black girl. We have another black girl now.
Oh.
And 2 Asian girls. But the rest are white.
Okay.
And, before we get into the book, we always talk about, like, dating and all our online dating foolishness and how much it sucks and it's so hard and blah, 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 blah. And sometimes when I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, it sucks at hard. But y'all don't even know how hard it is for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, y'all don't even get it. Like, this shit fucking sucks for all of us. But, like, being a black girl on some of these dating sites, you swipe forever.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And so it's just, I get that moment where you're just like, damn, I just want someone here to like relate or like get it when I say that. But yeah, that's kind of tough. And it sucks that they kind of tokenized her in that way by placing her as the only woman of color, well, only black girl in that house.
Only woman of color who spoke English.
Yeah, well, Bibiana was there.
Well,
she was cleaning up.
She was.
She was cleaning up.
Proud of Bibiana. But, yeah.
So.
And they tokenized Bibiana, too, shit, with that music.
They always come with that fucking, like, generic,
like,
Latin drum.
So blatantly racist.
I can't even.
It's so hard.
So we said, we're like, where's Stassi's Russian folk music?
Right?
Where's Yuki's, like...
Harajuku, Japan.
Her Japanese, like, whatever. Yeah. Only when Bibiana comes on screen, they come with that fucking Latin generic, like, garage band drums. So frustrating. God. But that's it. Just wanted to wrap up Lauren G's interview.
Yes, one of our faves.
So
on our hiatus, please go back. You know what? Go back, listen, and email us your takeaways.
Yeah.
On the hiatus.
Yeah.
Because we'll love to read them.
Takeaways of Lauren G's.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we get into this interview with Diggy?
Let's do it.
Yay. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to a special edition of Two Black Girls, a Black Dude, and a Rose.
Where two black-ass girls and a black dude invade the whitest show on earth, The Bachelor. I'm Natasha.
And I'm Justine.
And I'm Diggy from Rachel's season.
Yay! Yay! We're so excited. We have Diggy, you guys.
We have testosterone on the podcast. This is so exciting. So Diggy is a 32-year-old senior inventory analyst and a fashion blogger from Chicago. He was sent home week 4 of Rachel's season of The Bachelorette, but was also in Bachelor in Paradise. So we're really excited to pick your brain about those experiences.
Yeah, we are. So, Diggy, I heard you got your name as a kid where someone said they liked your clothes, they liked your digs. So at 32, you still go by Diggy? Like, who calls you Diggy? Does your boss call you Diggy? Like, what's the line?
It's funny because there's like maybe 5 people in the world that call me Kenneth. And it's just kind of like when you, at least in Chicago, the burbs where I grew up, and I got the name in 2nd grade, and you go to the same kids with like middle school and then high school. So I've always, just people was like introduce me as Diggy, whatever. So it's just like at that point, it's just like it kind of stuck. So when people call me Kenneth, I'm either in trouble or it's just like, somebody calls, even at work today, somebody emails me, is like, hey, Kenneth, I need you to look at this. I'm like, clearly they're either new or, they don't know me well. So, everybody's always called me Diggy since I was like 6 or 7.
Oh my God. And it just stuck like that. That's awesome. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So speaking of your nickname, I stalked your blog so much. I love men's fashion blogs. And I wanted to talk to you about sneaker culture. So how were you first introduced to sneaker culture? Because I know Jordans are really big in Chicago. So how did you first get into it?
Honestly, it's a funny story. So I have really, really flat feet. And so whenever I would wear, when I was younger, I would wear a shoe like 2 to 3 days in a row. You could see like the indents on your shoes on the inside where what most people's arches are. Like your foot, the shoe would start to like form to my foot and kind of lean over. And the shoes would look fresh as far as clean, but I was just like hating, like, Mom, these shoes look weird now, whatever. So I'm an only child, and my mom, whenever she was to go shopping, she would take me, and she would ask, like, she would say, like, hey, if you're good, I'll buy you something. And most people were like, yo, I want toys, or I want candy. I was like, yo, I want some sneakers.
Wow.
So she would buy me sneakers because I wanted to, build my collection so I didn't have to wear the same shoes every day because of my feet. And then ever since then, I just kind of like fell in love with sneakers. And then people at school like noticed like, oh, Big always has like fresh kicks, whatever, because shoes always come out on Saturday. My mom would always take me out shopping on Saturday. And then so every Monday I would come to school with like new shoes and that's kind of how it took off.
Oh my god!
Wow.
You're an expensive little kid.
I know, it's the thing. And I tell people all the time, it's like, yeah, they're like, you're spoiled, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am, but I deserved it, so it was cool.
So do you have a style icon aside from your mom? Who was your first stylist?
A style, I would say Pharrell.
Good one.
Pharrell is probably my style icon. I'm like, he does a lot of stuff that's really simple, but then he'll add like a splash of color, like whether it's through accessories, whether it's through sneakers, something like that. And on the flip side, he's not afraid to go outside the box. So I would say if I had to look at a style icon, Pharrell would probably be someone that kind of like look after.
Cool. What is your take on that big ass weird hat he wore that one time?
Yo, all that hat screams is, I have money and you can't tell me shit. That's what that. So like, if I wore that to work, people would be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? But when you Pharrell, you got to deal with Adidas.
Yeah.
And all this, you can just try shit like that.
That's true. That's true. You can't be mad at him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I am brand new to the sneaker game, but I really want to invest in a couple of pairs. So what, as a girl, what do you think I should get? A New York City girl.
Man, a New York City girl, what should you get? I think so I like simplicity with stuff. I don't like people to be over the top, whatever. I want you to feel comfortable. I feel like you could easily get some like nice Chuck Taylors that are like low profile, like so you can get like a low cut Chuck Taylor or whatever. It's winter, so I probably wait till spring to do it.
Yeah.
But you can get Chucks that look super dope, and they're like all 80, 90, especially since you're a girl, they'll be a little bit cheaper. And then you can get like 2 to 3 pairs, and then just kind of switch it up. So I would probably start with some Chucks. Then you could eventually go to like everybody goes Yeezys and stuff like that, but those tend to get overplayed.
Yeah, I'm not ready for Yeezys yet. I'm not ready to drop $1,200 on some shoes.
We don't have Yeezy money over here.
That's the thing you gotta see. Yeah, that's the thing. People are like, oh my god, how much do you pay for Yeezys? I'm like, retail? Like, because I've spent, collecting sneakers for like over 20 years. I've spent my Saturdays camped out in front of many boutiques. Wow. So I've kind of networked my way to kind of, hooking it up. But yeah.
Okay. So
I've spent Saturdays camped out in front of Nike Town for like 10 years. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit anymore.
No. Yeah, no.
Damn. So you have the hookup all around Chicago. Like, you know who to call when something comes out.
Yeah, but it's like I earned that. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, so it took me a while to get it. People just think, oh, just because you're famous or whatever, people know you. I'm like, nah. I still had to do that when I was in college and high school and all that.
Interesting.
Nice. So for Rachel's season, how did you pack when you have so many shoes?
Look, that's like the number one question everybody asks me. I packed by taking like literally everything with me. I had a bag full of shoes. I had a bag full of clothes. I just thought about like, what shoes do I really want? Don't mind that, because we don't know what kind of dates we're gonna go on, whatever. So I'm like, what kind of shoes look fly, but potentially could get messed up? Because like they take you on dates where like, all right, you're gonna go do mud wrestling or whatever.
Right.
Like, so if I wear like some of my Yeezys to go mud wrestling, I'm sorry, I'm going home. Ain't no fucking way.
Hell no.
I'm not taking these shoes up. And so I thought about that. I was like, what don't I mind, or is it easier to replace? But still want to look nice. So that's kind of what I did. And if I couldn't decide, I found a way to like take both or multiple pairs or whatever.
Wow. It's like so much strategy that goes into it. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that.
Yeah. So we're going to dig into the show a little bit, or we're going to start with Arie's season. So we are really excited to have you on because you, I think similar to us, watch the show like with a critical eye. Like you have fun with it. You definitely are one of the funniest live tweeters out there.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you don't really take it too seriously, but we noticed you kind of analyze things in your own little funny way, so we definitely want to like dig into that a little bit. So for Arie's season, like, who did you watch the show with? Do you have like a Monday night routine? Also Winter Games. I know you're watching Winter Games as well. When do you watch everything?
I literally race home on Monday. I feel like a girl at this point because I feel obligated to do this stuff.
Yep.
But I literally race home, make sure like on my calendar is like Monday blocked off from 7 to 9, and obviously I just do this now that I'm on the show. That I was on the show. That I didn't do this before, but now I literally make sure I have my laptop, I have my phone. My laptop's fully charged, and I just start watching it. And I got to make sure I start watching it right at 7 because people like to. You guys are very interactive as far as people like to live tweet. Like, dude, did you see that? What do you think of that? And I can't watch it like DVR, so I have to watch it live.
Yeah.
And so I only just have tweet deck open, and I just tweet whatever I see. Like the first thing that I think of when it comes to one of mine. And see, the thing is, before like I started watching the show, obviously I didn't have as many followers on Twitter that I do now, and I used to tweet like some reckless shit, but I realized I can't do that as much anymore because you tweet the wrong thing, people retweet it, and like, oh my god, they don't know like the real me. Because a lot of times I'm always joking. So a lot of these people just follow me on Twitter. If I say something, people that know me are like, oh yeah, Diggy's just joking or whatever. But now you have 20,000 people that are like, oh my god, how could you say something like that? And they don't know I'm just joking. So I like to think of things and just tweet like the first thing that comes to mind. I type it out, and then I'll look. I'm like, is there any way somebody could think that I'm an asshole for saying it? And I look at it for like 5-10 seconds. I'm like, all right, fuck it, just tweet it.
Just tweet it out.
So let's tweet it. That's how it works. But I do that. I watch the show with a critical eye. I try to make sure I walk the fine line and don't like offend anybody because there's a good chance I'm gonna see these people again in real life, and I don't want them to be like, oh, like, I mean, Arie pretty much knows that I thought he wasn't shit.
Right.
So if I see Arie face to face, I already know what it's gonna be. But a lot of these girls in the show, I can joke around and say stuff like, and just they knew I was joking and still not be scared to meet them face to face.
Yeah.
So I just try to make sure everything that I say is like in a joking manner. But then you got the people that out there that are really serious, like, oh my god, they're just trying to find love. I'm like, look, I'm in that same boat. I get it. These are all just jokes.
Yeah.
And that's why I always have to lead with that.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, like, yo, just joking. All these people are probably great, but these are just jokes, people.
Right.
And that's kind of how I do it.
Ah, nice. Yeah, because a lot of people take this real seriously.
Yeah, I know, and we don't ever apologize.
Oh my God. When I said Arie was trash, like, that wasn't a joke. I meant it. But it was more so like, people were like, oh my God, he's just trying to find love. I'm like, look, I get that.
Yeah.
I hope he does. But when you go on national TV, y'all want to see some sort of entertainment and stuff like that, not a boring kind of like love story. So, you know, that's how it is. Some people take it way too seriously, but at the end of the day, it's just a TV show.
Exactly. Yep. We're on the same page right there because we definitely do not. We don't hold our tongue on our podcast ever because then we're not being true to ourselves. And so, I mean, it's entertainment, it's a show, but then also like you got to watch it critically, but then have fun with it at the same time. So I definitely get it.
So speaking of Arie being trash, one of our favorite tweets that you, one of our favorite tweets was Arie is apologizing like he's the assistant manager and not her fiance.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was gold.
Cackling out loud. So when you think of Arie's season, what's the first word that comes to your mind?
What's the word that I thought of the word, I just can't. What am I trying to say? It's like mind numbing That's the word that I think of. What am I thinking of? What they use to put you under when you're about to have major surgery?
Anesthesia?
Yes.
Damn.
That's what I'm thinking of. By the time you're done, you're going to be asleep.
Yep.
So that's what I'm thinking.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Jesus.
Yeah.
So, speaking of putting ourselves to sleep, Lauren B. Arie's relationship with Lauren B is just so bizarre to everyone watching because, I mean, I personally, and I know the rest of America agrees, still don't understand the basis of their relationship because they just never talk. They always kind of describe this this intense, unexplainable feeling. And I'm curious, since you're a guy, I'm trying to get the guy's perspective. Have you ever had like a similar feeling with someone before? Like this unexplainable draw to a girl before?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure if I have or not. This unexplainable draw. You know what? I can't point thing or a girl that I've actually had that with. But there are some people you're just like, that feeling, like, I don't know what it is. There's something about her. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm really kind of, like, attracted to them. And so I've probably had it. Mm-hmm. And I get why Arie may see it with Lauren B. Because I honestly, like, I think Lauren B is a good example. I don't think that there's anything wrong with her. I think, personally, for me, I'm a very outgoing person. So I'd be more attracted to somebody who's going to kind of match that or at least give me something to work with. Mm-hmm. Whereas you're watching Lauren B, and it's more so like, oh, man, I mean, because I really think she's actually attractive, but it's just like, as far as personality-wise, you're like, this is like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And like I said, granted, I always say America only sees maybe 2% of what we actually film. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're going to show, they want to show the boring stuff to kind of make it look like, because they want to paint somebody as a character or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I do get that, hey, maybe we didn't see everything. She could be some bubbly personality, whatever, but in those moments, she just kind of bottles up. So I can see how maybe Arie does like her, but I think I've probably been in a similar situation as well where, like, there's this girl, I don't know what it is, something about her, I kind of rock with, so I get it.
Yeah. I wish, because he did mention at one point that she, like, dances around and has...
Yeah, she's, like, silly.
Yeah, he inferred this other silly side of her, but they never showed it, so I don't know why they would leave all of that footage on the cutting room floor and create this silent mute of a character, but, maybe.
Well, to think about it, they did the same thing kind of with me. Like, a lot of people were like, yo, I didn't know you talked this much, or you spoke this much, or you were this funny, or whatever. I'm like, yo, I was talking a lot in that house, but it didn't fit the producer's storyline, or whatever I said wasn't funny. Like, I nonstop had the guys just, like, we were joking or whatever, but when it came to however they wanted to paint me with Rachel or whatever, they didn't find it interesting enough to show. So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt on this show. To say, like, Lauren B could have had time when she was running around dancing, laughing, but they just didn't show it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. So Arie's breakup with Becca was just one of the most painful things that I know we've ever watched and just so horribly executed. Have you ever been broken up with? And what's the worst breakup you've ever gone through?
Okay, so from I haven't had that many girlfriends. Like, okay, as far as I have been broken up with, yes.
Oh, sad.
I know.
Sad tear.
That was she broke up with me, so yeah, I get it. I've been broken up with, but I thought I've never liked anything like Becca and Arie did, but it was very, very interesting how that all played out. I tend to be, I'm not even going to front, I hate disappointing people as far as, like, I really care about a girl's feelings. So I'll go out and say it. I've been known to say something to or do something just because, you know what, I hate to, let a girl down or disappoint a girl, whatever. And I think in the past, when I was a lot younger, I would date a girl and I'm like, damn, she's really into it. Like even going on blind dates or first dates, I'll meet a girl within 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'll make sure that first date, she's going to have an amazing time. Where I struggle is I'll have a hard time saying, like, she'll like, you know what, where we're going to go for our second date, or I can't wait to see you again. And I have a hard time saying,
oh boy,
you know what, I'm really not into you. Like, I think we should just be friends, because I've been on that side of the boat when I was younger too. It's kind of like, I'm really into this girl, and then she'll just be like, yeah, you know what? She'll either ghost or just like, not into you, not interested, or whatever.
Yeah.
So personally, I just find it hard to do some of this stuff, and I think like the last few years it's been a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I could see where Arie was just kind of like, you know what? Let me do this, and obviously you're doing it in front of 10 million people, so it changes how you do things. But let me propose to her, and then I can't stop thinking about Warren B type deals, and then he just realizes he made the wrong mistake.
Yeah. I guess.
I know, that's interesting to hear from a guy's perspective, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Like, he was... And I think people always forget, you are on national TV doing this.
Mm-hmm, right.
And you have a deadline.
Yeah.
Like, any other time he would have either continued dating both until he had a solid answer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we know when we go into this that, 8 weeks or whatever it is, at the end of the 8 weeks, you have to give out roses and whatever. It's just like, that's what makes this process so hard, is going into this. You're like, okay, well, if you're not sure, you shouldn't have proposed, whatever. But you realize Arie's, and like I said, I hate to defend Arie, but anybody who's in that position, you sign up knowing at the end of this term, you are expected to propose, leave empty-handed, whatever. But he'll never win, because if he proposes to one, that's how it's supposed to be. But if he leaves empty-handed, people are like, well, why didn't you propose? We watched, 8 weeks because we're waiting for a proposal and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they want that forced marriage or forced proposal just because that's what they expect at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But when he gave you guys, or you guys saying, like America, that proposal, everybody thought it was sweet, but then he did it just because he had to, and then it ended up being the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's just messy. I mean, it just makes us think about how, this is skipping ahead, but just like how clearly, like, the premise of the show with it being ending in a forced engagement, it ain't working.
Yeah.
This is more tragic than anything.
You're right, but here's what I try to tell people all the time. I agree, but you guys, and I'm not talking about just YouTube, but just people in general, they tune in for some sort of drama. This obviously was unprecedented, but if you, even with, I compare this to Paradise, if there's 8 guys, 8 girls, and if we all went on that Mexico, in the island of Mexico, and there's 8 couples that just walked off into the sunset, 8 engagements, whatever, 95% of America would be like, well, that was boring. Like, you got 8 couples, 8 engagements, okay, whatever. Nobody came in and fucked shit up and all that stuff. So, whereas you have, like, with Paradise, you had Dean and Christina just, like, so happy and whatever, and then D-Lo comes in, and then everybody is like, oh, shit, I can't wait till next week. But that's what people want to see, as opposed to realizing we're on this island, 16 of us, or how many of us are in China, and these are, like, real relationships. So it's kind of a catch-22 of this. Like I said, this was really dramatic. But, yeah, it's... That TV element, a lot of people forget about it.
Yeah, that does make sense. We do tune in for the drama. We don't ask for. We don't give our thoughts on what drama we want to see. We just kind of have it unfold and love it. So I guess the Becca craziness proposal, like, we ain't asked for that, but it's part of the drama, and we tune in for drama. So Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes a lot of sense. So Arie, he was allegedly in love with both of them. I mean, we know where his heart really was with Lauren B. And maybe a piece of it, I don't know, was with Becca. Do you think, just in general, it's possible to be in love with two different people?
Hell yeah. I think, because I'm in love with, like, Meghan Markle. I'm in love with Olivia Munn.
Oh my God.
Keys. So whichever one of them takes my DM first, I'll rock with. So,
Oh my God, your little struggle DM.
I thought since I got my little blue verified check that they would answer, but it's not. But no, I think it's possible because you got two different types. Like, to me, Becca and Lauren are not the same person. You can love something about two different people. You can love two different. I personally think you can love two different people for something else. Like for me, if I'm in Arie's shoes, I don't love me personally as Diggy. I don't love Lauren. I don't love Becca. I've never met them. But what I can see is Becca, very outgoing. You can tell she's caring. You can tell she has a personality where I think she 100% wanted to give her all to Arie. Whereas Lauren, I can tell she would want to. She's obviously, we didn't get too much of it into the show, but she's been in some past relationships where it's more so like she's very guarded, but she kind of opens up as the show progresses, and she kind of shows like, I really want this for us. I really want, and I think I can love that about her. And I think you have those two different types of areas where like I love this about her, I love this about the other one, and so I think you could be in love with two different people.
Yeah, isn't he always though? Well, particularly just speaking about Arie, isn't there then always going to feel like there's something missing from Lauren B?
It maybe. Like I said, there could be something he feels like there's missing from Lauren B. Like I said, from what we see on the outside, there could be, or there could be something that's there that we just didn't see. I honestly, like I said, I haven't been in a bunch of relationships, but I think there's probably something about some of your exes that you like the last girl I dated, I thought she was really great, but she was very like more so of an introvert, whatever, and I learned to tolerate it. I didn't like it, but the girl previously that I dated before that, she was just, man, all like extroverted, whatever, like just was a ball of like energy, and I missed that with the girl that I dated last. So I feel like there's potential to love different things about different people, and Lauren B could potentially, grow to be what he wants, because I think at the end of the day, you love people, and then you love to appreciate their faults, and I think it's a journey that you guys tend to be on together, and you guys are going to evolve and grow.
Yeah, I hope they bring out the best
in each other. Yeah.
And he'll get his fulfillment in that way.
Right. It's a journey. That's what I try to tell people. It's a journey.
Right.
True.
Yeah. Damn, I should be an ordained minister.
Dropping some knowledge on these people.
I don't know what I said made sense, but it sounded good to me.
No, it does. Yeah, it makes sense. So speaking of your struggle DMs, aside from those, what is dating like in Chicago now for you?
It's so weird. People like, it's crazy because I obviously I still lived downtown Chicago before, and I've been living downtown from the suburbs of Chicago, and I've lived here forever. And I grew up in the suburbs and went to University of Illinois, and then after college I moved downtown. And so, man, I've been ghosted a few times before the show. Yeah, I've been ghosted a few times before the show and all this. And now I go on the show, and then you go on another show, and then you come back, all of a sudden it's, oh my God, Diggy's from Chicago, we gotta find him and this. And I'm on, even today, I walk past this girl on the way to work, and she DMs me later like, I think I saw you today, and you like took my breath away.
What?
No.
I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
One, it's just like, girl, I walk the same street every day to work, and I'm pretty sure I've seen you before. But it's like you get that. So now you have to worry about, are people wanting to date you because they think you're awesome or potential or whatever, or they want to date so they can tell their friends, oh my God, I'm dating Diggy from the Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise and stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, I'll hop on Bumble or whatever, and I'll swipe, and I'm like, damn, I ain't had this many hits ever. so it's like, all right, these people are onto something, but then it definitely has been an uptick as far as the amount of people that are interested. So.
Yeah. And so the girls that you go out with, like on Bumble or wherever, like, are they admitting that they know you before, or are they?
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they admitting up front, like, oh, I know you, Diggy from The Bachelor, and then do you go out with them, or are most girls, they don't recognize you or they've never watched the show?
So I'm not on like the dating apps a lot. If I'm like bored on the couch, I'll just say, oh, let's open it or whatever. Because I have so many different side projects and things, and working on my normal career and all this other stuff in my life. Like getting into a relationship isn't like number one priority right now. So and then I'm very big on meeting somebody organically. Like I would love to, have that fairy tale where we're at Starbucks and we both reach for the cup. And,
God.
I'll look in your eyes. And you're like, oh my God, can I get your number? And then we end up getting married.
Oh my God, Diggy, you need a new fairy tale. That one's taken. I've heard this one.
I know. I do. I know, but it would be dope, like, to be, giving a wedding speech, like, we met because of Starbucks.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But anyway, I like to meet people organically. I like to meet people at the gym or out or whatever. But a lot of times, it depends. Like, you have a few people that'll be on, will match on whatever it is, the dating app, and then they'll swipe and say, like, oh my God, like, are you dating? And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh boy.
And then I'm like, nope, blocked. My favorite types of people, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'll go out now, and it's kind of funny because, like, you'll have the girls that are like, oh my God, can I take a picture? And oh my God, I recognize you, whatever. My favorite girl was the one in that crew that's like, look, my friends for some reason are excited, like, to meet you, but I don't know who the hell you are. And I'm like, like,
what's your name?
Yeah, let me get your number. That's what I think. Like, because people just, and to be honest, you have to be wary about, like who you give your number out to, all that stuff. And that's stuff, like, nothing that I never thought I would ever have to worry about. But it kind of happens now. So I prefer when I'm going out with somebody if they don't know me at all. And if they do, I prefer that they don't bring it up. Like, I went on a date with a girl a few times, and we didn't talk about it until, like, date number 3. Because, girls are like, oh my God, like, who are you going to date with tonight? And they show their friends the picture. I'm going out with this guy named Diggy. You're like, oh, you know who that is? And she's like, no. Or you'll go out and they'll follow you on Instagram. And they'll be like, wait, why do you have 40,000 followers?
Yeah, true.
Like, yeah. So they're going to find out eventually, but I prefer not to tell them.
Right. Interesting. Well, listeners of Chicago, you heard this here from Diggy. Do not mention that you know him. Be the girl in the cut, playing it cool. You might have a chance.
Just chill.
Just chill out.
I'll find you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, in our previous interviews with CN and Lauren G from Arie's season, we've been really exploring the casting process. And one of, the parts of our mission is just to figure out why this show is so white and, like, what their process is. So, if you could just walk us through your casting process.
I'll walk you through mine. I work, I'm the only black guy on my team, and work, and my direct team, and my team ranges from extremely, I'm the only black person, and I'm the only guy on my team. And at the time, I'll tell you how I got on the show. It's just more so, these girls were like, Diggy, you should go on the show. You're funny. You're single. I think people will love you. I'm like, nah, chill. Like, I'm not on that. and then, sure enough, like maybe 3 or 4 months later, I get a call, California number. I'm at work. I'm like, hello? And they're like, yeah, is this Diggy? Yeah. I'm like, is this a bill collector? Because I was ready to hang up. And so they were like, no, this is ABC casting. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, this is casting for The Bachelorette. And I turn around. I'm like, let me call you right back. So I was like, why is ABC casting calling me for The Bachelorette? And they all just go ape shit.
Oh, my God.
They're like, we nominated you. We sent pictures, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm like, you know what, let's see. Let's roll with this. So I hop into the conference room. I call them back. They were like, look, can you send them some, like, take some new pictures, send us some pictures, whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll send you some quote-unquote new pictures. So I just took some off Facebook and sent it to them. And thought nothing of it. A couple weeks later, get a call, and they were like, hey, we wanted for you to go to the next step. And they were like, we would love for you to do, if you could do a video, it helps your chances. And I'm like, it was happened to be in the busiest time of the year for me. And I was like, look, I don't have time to do a video. I can send you some pictures, but if you need a video and this is where this ends, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. But I don't have time to do a video. And then they called me and they were like, you know what if we flew to Chicago to meet you? I'm like, well, shit, all right. So they did that. They met me in a hotel. Did my little 30-minute interview with like a random person. They're recording it. And then this other producer comes out of the cut and just starts asking me questions. And we're talking for like off camera for another hour. And then she gives me this packet. She's like, so if you get advanced to the next round, you need to fill out this packet. And it was like 30 pages. And this was like December. I didn't open that packet until like January 15th. And I opened the packet, and the first thing it said on there is the due date was December 31st. I was like, ooh. Well, I was like, well, I'm black, so maybe they understand it'll be late. So I filled it out, and then I sent it, and then, because they had all the shipping like, next day, so it gets there the next day, and then they called me like 2 days later, like, oh, we wanted you to advance you to the final round. I was like, damn. But my best friend lives in LA, so I love the city of LA, so like, any excuse I can go to LA, I always go. So I'm like, free trip to LA, done. So I go. They have you do a bunch of stuff as far as psych testing, lie detector testing, background check, whatever. And then you meet with all the producers. And then they kind of have the surprise element where they're like, hey, come here. I want you to meet a friend. And they pull back this wall. And it's like literally 40 people. And they're like, there's a chair up front, like, hey, just go sit up there. And it's like people firing questions at you and you don't even know what's going on, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, and mind you, I didn't want to be on the show, so I'm answering questions like just like first thing that comes to mind, whatever. Like, what's your dating life like all this stuff, whatever. And so I'm up there drinking. I think I had lemonade vodka. I'm just drinking, and I'm just answering. Because I think if you think too much, you people that really, really want to be on the show that think about what do the producers want to hear. Oh, I'm really ready to find love, and whatever. So I answer the questions, and I fly back to Chicago. I get a call, like, saying that they wanted me to be on the show. And I was like, oh shit, that's when it hit home. And I was like, I turned to my boss and was like, well, guys, I got the final call. And they all went crazy. And then I think, if you guys watch Rachel season, so I was one of the people that had an intro package. So they came to Chicago, filmed my house, filmed me working out. They came to my job to film. And so I work at a company that's probably average age of the company is probably about 26, and there's maybe 800 people. And it's like 80% women, and so that's ABC's target demographic. Oh, wow. Yeah. So everybody saw the camera crew around, and they just started going crazy, taking pictures, video. I was just like, crap. So that's how I got on the show. And that's how I did it. And in Paradise, I think, I hate to use this phrase, but I think what they do is they take a lot of their fan favorites and they put them on there. And I think a lot of people were disappointed to see me go home. And that's kind of how ABC was like, yeah, we got to bring him back. Or that's the way I like to think I got back on the show. But that's kind of how it worked.
Wow. So this is something you kind of did on a whim almost, and you kind of just moved
and
through
just
the
kept
process.
going.
Just kept going through the process. So it sounds like
yeah, it's funny because people are like, Jake, how do I get on the show? I want you to look at my video. Can I look at your video? I'm like, sure, because I didn't do one. Like, they were like, it says here it's required. I'm like, I guess not. So that's kind of how it works. But yeah, I tell people all the time, like, a lot of stuff that happened to me is just like, not that you shouldn't care in life, but a lot of times, if you're yourself, people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Interesting. So, one thing that really surprised us about Rachel's season, and we were very excited, of course, first Black Bachelorette. We've been waiting for this our entire lives. And she had 31 guys. Of the 31 guys, only 11 were black, which was surprising to us because Rachel had stated previously that she had only really dated black men, like before Nick Viall. And so that ratio to us, I was just very kind of thrown.
It was off-putting.
It was a little weird. Do you think ABC's just not ready for black love?
I don't think that's the case. I think they're definitely open to black love. One, you got to think about I'm like 95% sure, if not more, that there's more applicants for the Bachelorette. The Bachelor. So you have a bunch of girls that want to be on the show. The amount of guys that apply to be on the show tend to be not as many as you think. And so when I say that, a lot of the guys that apply, you have those, and then you have people that are nominated. So I think when you think about the people that watch the show, you have a good chunk of them that nominate their friends. And then if you take a step back, you think about who the demographic of the people that watch the show, and at that point, they're nominating their friends, and probably tends to be the same race as them. So when I say that, it's like if you have, and I think it's no secret that a lot of white people watch the show, they're going to nominate their friends to be on the show, and that probably results as to who gets casted. I think you have to think, like, guys, they definitely were out in the hunt for people to get to meet Rachel's demographic. Like, I think Fred said he got found at the mall. Somebody, I think DeMario said he got found at Chipotle or something like that. So you definitely, it's almost at the point, like, I don't think they had to hunt for us per se, but I don't know if you have a lot of us that apply to be on the show.
Yeah. I can see that. I wish they would have hunted a little farther, though, because Waboom, like, we wasted a cast on Waboom. You couldn't find one more fresh black guy. I mean, hit the other Chipotle. Come on.
I'll plead the fifth on that one, but I understand. I think that's a point of contention for a lot of people, like that really love the show. Like, Rachel. If Rachel says she's never dated a black guy, I've gotten that question. Excuse me, a white guy. I've gotten that question several times. And why didn't they cast a lot of black guys?
Yeah.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Did we have a huge influx of black people or black men that applied? I don't know. I like to think that if Rachel said, hey, I'm only interested in XYZ, that they would probably like to give her XYZ, but hey, that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess the verdict, I guess we'll just never know, really.
Yeah,
No, we won't.
That ratio just sounded super off, so I don't know.
The funny thing is, I think that was the most minorities that they had on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely was. But we wanted more. So Rachel, historic first black bachelorette. We are still waiting for a black bachelor. It's 2018.
This coming up.
Yep. It is 2018. Australia, Diggy, Australia. Season 2, they dug up a black guy somewhere and had a black bachelor.
What?
Yes. Yeah. I think he is biracial, half black, half white. But he black, and they found him, and he was their bachelor.
In Australia.
On the show Unreal, I don't know if you watch Unreal, last season, they had a black bachelor on that show. Yeah. What do you think it's going to take before we get a black bachelor? And would you want to be the bachelor?
What do I think it's going to take? I don't know. A couple more seasons.
Oh, my God.
We've been waiting forever.
I know. I don't know if I have an answer for what it's going to take. I would say it might take a dip in ratings. I think Arie's season wasn't rated that highly. So if they were like, what do we need to do for shock value or to get people back? I think that could be it. It's like, if they were like, we got it, time to do it. That would definitely catch some eyes. So I think that potentially could be it. Would I be the Bachelor? I've answered this question so many times. It's a lot to go into being the Bachelor. Like, I'm not nowhere nearly as big as the Peters and the Deans and all that stuff, and they got a lot of heat, and they're not even the main lead. So to go in, I like to compare it, and by no means are we even close to being equal, but if Barack being the first black president, he got a lot of flack, a lot of hate mail, and all that stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, like the fans that are on the show, or of the show, y'all either love hard or you hate hard. So it's just like y'all either really hated Arie or you really liked him. So it's more so when you're committing to do something like this, you're in that spotlight forever. And it's more so like if I for some reason were to pick somebody that America doesn't approve of, you got all these people that are going to say, like, why didn't you pick this person or this person or this person or whatever. Like, let me live, let me love, whatever. Like, as much as we like to joke about Arie picking whoever he chooses, like, that's not my life. It doesn't affect my day-to-day. But you have so many people that, like, they invest so much time, quote-unquote, like, 16 hours watching the show. And they feel like they're invested. And I get that. But being the first black person, like, I can only imagine some of the DMs and comments that Rachel got. Because I know personally, I got some that wrote on my page, Kenny's page, Josiah's page, and it's just like, and we were just contestants. So you got to think of the time that when they announced the Bachelor, it would be Rachel, and then the time that filming, and then the time when the show was aired, and post-show, there's a lot of additional flack that you get. And so that's all that goes into. You don't go back to living a normal life for quite some time.
Yeah, it's definitely committing yourself to like a complete life change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I would love to be offered it.
Get the option.
Like, oh, Dave, would you let me be back? We really think you'd be great. Okay, thanks for the offer. Let me think about it. So I love to be offered. But yes, I would definitely be open to it. But it's something you would definitely have to think about.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I think you're right about Arie's dip in ratings and them changing, because the first guy for Becca's meeting was a British black guy.
Yeah.
True.
So
that's a good point.
And he was definitely a social media favorite.
Oh, 100%. He had the accent too. Like everybody loved him.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this dude got a clip-on bow tie.
Already wrote him off.
Like, dude, bro. I was like, no, we're not doing this.
Clip-on.
Too damn old to be having a clip-on.
Oh, God. That was funny.
I'll see you in paradise.
No. Poor Lincoln was his name,
Lincoln.
Right? Oh, Lincoln.
Oh, my goodness. So we are going to talk about something that we have never talked about on the podcast. This is a first. We are going to bring up Lee. We did not want to give him any energy whatsoever, but we'd really like to talk about kind of the casting of Lee and the development of this racist character that they shoved in our faces while we were watching the first Black Bachelorette. So in the house, Lee had issues with Eric, Kenny, and Will also pulled him to the side to talk about the implications of the word aggressive used against black men, and he just kind of scoffed at him. Did you guys in the house notice this pattern, and did you notice these kind of tendencies?
I didn't per se. I think what I did notice is he realized that there was nobody there like him, and I think once you, even taking race aside, like he was the shortest in the house. You have,
Damn.
I mean, I'm being real. Like, you walk into the house, and he's the shortest in the house. Mm-hmm. He's from Tennessee, has an accent. He's from the South, different. Whereas all of us were, even, like I said, setting race aside, you got people that were, like Peter, modeled a little bit. You had a lot of us were athletes in college. All of us was pretty much good shape, and then all these other things, and then you have, Lee. And I'm going to say that like he's not a real person, but it's just like when you look at him, you're like, man, what? So, you look at him like how am I going to gain an advantage? And he said it a couple times, like he ruffled feathers intentionally to try to get people to like leave and stuff like that. So I think like I'm not putting words in his mouth. I think he did do that on purpose, if I remember him saying that correctly, like because he needed to, he wanted to get Kenny eliminated or whatever, and it's just like I personally am over it now because honestly I think he did get the last rose in the episode that I went home. So I remember that, but it's just like more so once I watch it back, I can see that some of the stuff that he did, he was just realized he was kind of outmatched and kind of had to work his way around something. So,
ugh. Ew,
that's so whack.
Yeah.
No, right? Mm-hmm.
So, was there any talk in the house that he wasn't just like some short, ignorant Tennessee country music loving guy, but he was just flat out just a racist guy?
I don't remember there ever being a talk like,
okay.
Lee's racist, whatever.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that whole thing that happened with Kenny, the episode that I went home, I don't remember, because the thing is that the mansion's pretty big, and so I'm not in the know with every conversation that's happening all over. So to be honest, I had no idea that conversation had happened to that extent that night. I do remember like Kenny was pissed. He had just said he had a conversation with Lee, whatever. But I'm like, dude, what happened at this point? Because you have producers grabbing you to go talk to Rachel, producers grabbing us to go do our like kind of one-on-ones when you guys see us talking to cameras. And at this point, it's a rose ceremony. So I can give two shits about what you're doing. I'm just trying to make sure I'm here in the morning. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But I had no idea that it happened to that extent. So I think maybe there was a few people that knew, like, via their conversations with Lee, but I don't think I knew until I watched it back, like, how conniving he was trying to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the first evidence of Lee's kind of social media from 2016 were released during Rachel's season, and then Lee confirmed himself in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that a Bachelor producer reached out to him via Facebook to be casted on the show. So do you think the producers had sort of a race-baiting storyline plotted out for Rachel's season?
I don't think so. Like I said, I like to think people are inherently good, and I think that's where my flaw is.
Yeah.
I like to think that, no, there's no way they would like to. Like, everybody hates racism. Why would you want to encourage somebody that's racist? But I do think that certain things that they potentially maybe did on purpose. Do I think that Rachel really was more attracted to Lee over me? Hell no.
Right.
But
yeah.
So but I do think it made sense to keep him around to give the public what they want, or not the public, producers what they wanted, and that was a 2-on-1 with Rachel, with those two on the date. So I don't like to think that they went out and actively said, okay, we got a black lead, we need a white supremacist or a racist or whatever. But like I said, this is probably my flaw. I do think they were like, okay, we get this guy from the South that looked like it may be interesting to have him on the show. Maybe he could, bring something interesting to the show, whatever. That probably all leads to yes, that, because they do look at they ask for all of our social media, handles and all that stuff.
Right.
So they probably scrubbed all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised. I hope that wasn't the case, but I like to think people are good by nature. So I hope it wasn't.
You got a good heart, Diggy.
Yeah, you do.
I tried.
You really got a good heart, because I don't know, I can't see past that. He had some crazy Facebook, comments and statuses, and they sought him out via
That's how
Facebook.
they got him. Facebook,
so for them to say they never saw it, or they never thought about this potential storyline ahead of time, I don't know. It doesn't connect to me. I mean, one thing that is like kind of disturbing to think about is like, imagine if the hypothetical worst case scenario happened with Lee, where Lee really showed his ass, really showed his racist ass, and Kenny, wasn't able to keep his cool, and maybe punched him or did something right on national television. We're just trying to understand, like, what were the producers, by casting Lee, trying to potentially ignite in the house? Like, why plan to potentially have this angry black character come out on the show? On the season of the first Black Bachelorette at that.
Drama, maybe. If they were trying to do that, I would say the only incentive that they have is just an added drama. Like, because the thing is, all the other guys, we got along well in the house. We still talk, like, damn near every day, just about random stuff, but it's just like, maybe they wanted something to kind of stir some sort of drama, make something that's a little bit interesting. The one thing I do think a lot of people, majority of people were just like, oh my God, why is Lee on the show? He's horrible, whatever. So you didn't have anybody smart on their part that'll come out and actively support Lee, but you do have, some people that probably secretly was like, yeah, okay, they secretly feel that way. So I'm not sure exactly, why they potentially would do something like that, but I think drama would probably be the number one thing if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm. That's like the grossest drama to try to bring onto a show, but yeah, they gotta make a show, I guess, but
I love watching bromances. I wouldn't mind watching you guys all hanging out, playing basketball, playing spades,
and having little
speaking of it, me and Kenny was my spades partner. We played spades. We taught Dean how to play spades.
Oh wow.
By the end of the day, that's a fun fact that you have never got a chance to see, which I'm pissed you didn't.
Yeah. See?
Dean was playing spades and drinking Hennessy by the end of the day.
Oh my God.
Would have loved to watch that.
He never had Hennessy before.
What?
And never played spades before. And it was so funny.
Oh my God. Y'all had Dean at a damn cookout
out here. And then he fell in love with Rachel.
That is hilarious. I love it. So with the Men Tell All special, we're supposed to have this moment where we're gonna like crucify Lee. And as a black viewer watching this, it just wasn't very satisfying. We have a moment where you guys are all grilling the shit out of Lee, Rachel's grilling Lee, but then at the end, we have to sit and watch, Kenny be the bigger person, forgive Lee. There's this weird, like, kumbaya moment of racial harmony, and it just felt as if the producers were trying to, like, force this apology and Kenny's forgiveness down our throats, as if they were, like, scurrying to, let's end all of this racial talk. Let's get our white viewers feeling comfortable again. We can't do this race stuff too much. When you were sitting there, watching the kumbaya and everybody hug it out, what were you feeling in that moment?
I was kind of over it. I'm like, look, I was very upset as far as my thing is, his whole thing was, and he kept repeating it, and trust me, you guys saw the edited version. It went on a lot longer than what you guys saw.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept saying, I'm ignorant. I didn't know. He's like, I need to learn, or whatever he kept saying. I'm uninformed. And so my thing is like, and either I said it or Anthony said it or maybe somebody else, but like, yo, it's 2018.
Thank you.
When do you think that this is, you need to learn? Like, what do you mean uninformed?
Right.
Like racism is not okay. Like, how don't you know that by now?
Mm-hmm.
But, and I think I was, at this point, like I said, we kept going back and forth. And it's as far as, like, I need to learn. I'm uninformed, all this stuff. And I'm sorry if what I said offended you. Like, whoa. You shouldn't have those thoughts, period. You shouldn't be worried about if we're offended. You should be wondering why you think that way.
Exactly.
And so, the issue is, when you realize that people like that tend to hang with other people like that, so when you're in a scenario that when he's back home with his friends or whatever, not calling his friends racist, but they probably would not call him out or something like that if he said it or whatever. Whereas when you come in the house with 11 black dudes and you say the wrong, he didn't, at least to me, he didn't say anything like the wrong thing or whatever to our face, but you're in a whole different environment. So you're taking what you used to do back in Mississippi, Tennessee, where he's from, you bring it to LA, and you don't see what's wrong with it because you're used to doing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to the point where I'm like, look, I'm not and have no plans to hang out with this dude ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's not going to understand why we're upset immediately, then I'm not going to waste my breath on it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably what got me. It's like, why are we having this conversation? Why don't you understand that racism should not be an issue in 2018?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And what made me more upset, like, he would do in the house, like, secret handshakes and all this shit with us and whatever. I'm like, he tried to act like he do, like, one thing he did with me is like, hey, Dig, what's going on? He came up, like, tried to do the secret handshake with me. I'm like, bro, first of all, no. Second of all, if we had a secret handshake, you can't. This is the first time we doing this. Like, you have to rehearse this. Like,
I would know the handshake.
I would know the handshake. So it's like you really were trying to front and all this stuff. So there was a lot of stuff like that happened. But it just I just was like, you know what? I don't like to waste my time. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to be a teacher or whatever.
Right.
If you don't understand why racism is wrong in 2018, I can tell you. And then if you still don't get it, look, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah, that's just so exhausting and unfair to y'all that they would, plop this ignorant, whatever you want to call it, in the house. It's triggering for you guys, and then the burden of responsibility is now on y'all to
help him
and educate him, and
Right.
ain't nobody got time for this. So, after the Bachelorette, you decided to go to Paradise. And, fresh off of Rachel's season with everything that went down with Lee and, I don't know if you were thinking in your head about the producers and their thoughts of, like, putting this character in the house and blah, 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 blah. Like, were you at all dubious or worried about going on Bachelor in Paradise of the producers, knowing what just went down in the house at Bachelorette?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't worried about it. But I kind of just learned from the Bachelorette. I'm like, okay, because the thing is with me, as far as going to the Bachelorette, I was very nervous because I know it's a lot about editing. And I was like, I didn't want to say anything to get misconstrued, to go the wrong way in America, hate me or whatever. Because as much as I tweet, you can't win the internet. So if people keep tweeting me, Instagram this, I can't, defend myself against everybody. So I was on the Bachelorette, I was more so like the guy with the facial expressions as opposed to somebody who actually would say something. Mm-hmm. So I learned that going on the show. And then when it was time for Paradise, it was more so like, okay, I see how this works. Okay, after watching the Bachelorette back, I was just like, in Paradise, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to do my thing, I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to try to, find somebody that I'm really interested in the meantime. So I wasn't really worried about that because I was not going to let myself be in that boat.
So there's like because one thing I'm really interested in is like this relationship with the producers. So it's like you get friendly with them, you spend a lot of time with them, but at the same time, it sounds like you always were kind of conscious of, you know, these people are cool, but at the same time, they're making a show.
Yeah. So, but there was one thing. It's just like you realize you'll say something, and then the next day it comes to fruition, and you like, man, this girl over here, like, you know, I'll just make up a hypothetical situation. Like, man, Ashley, she's bad. And I'm talking to the producer. You're like, man, she's so bad, whatever. And then he's like, man, you really like her? Man, she's cute, whatever. Next day, a date card, Diggy and Ashley. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh.
Like, so you realize how stuff happens.
Yeah.
And so, like, those conversations that you think may be private may not be as private as you think.
Right.
But a lot of times you forget that you are wearing a mic if you're not in the shower or in the pool. So I got so comfortable in Paradise, and the liquor's flowing nonstop. But I'm just like, man, I forgot I said something, and it was just like I realized it really quickly. I'm like, crap! Like, you were saying the mic, you get so comfortable, and that's how they pick up on stuff properly.
That's so interesting. That's how they get you.
I know.
Wow. So you definitely had a lot more luck in Paradise. You had 3 ladies, Lacey, Dominique, and Jamie. Filming only lasted, was it like 10 days or something like that?
It was longer than 10 days. It was probably about 3.5 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, is that including the little break with DeMario's foolishness?
No, that's outside.
Outside of that, okay.
Yeah, it's already there.
So, in that, 3 weeks is still a short time. Did you feel like you had, like, real feelings with these girls? Did you see actual potential outside the show with any of them?
Yeah, I think I did. But the only thing is, you gotta realize, none of them, we're meeting 2-3 weeks. It's almost like a spring break fling for the most part. So
right.
None of us really live, at least the girls I was with. A lot of these people live in pockets. Like, a lot of them live in LA. Some of them live in Florida. Some live on the East Coast. But nobody lived in Chicago. So when you get a chance to develop this relationship, man, this is great. To continue to try to build on something from across the country is just really hard. So I think all 3 of them definitely have some great qualities in them that I can definitely see outside of the show. But just trying to build on something like that makes it really hard. And when you don't live close.
Yeah, the long distance immediately just kills it.
Yeah.
It just kills it. But it makes for a fun summer, but it just kills it.
Yeah. So no fun updates after? You weren't able to work it out with any of them?
No, they're all great. Like, Lacey's great, Dominique's amazing, Jamie's amazing. Like I said, whenever I go to LA, I see most of them. Jamie came to Chicago a few months ago, so I saw her. We still all talk. But it's more so like, I think the only relationship that lasted after Paradise is Adam, Raven, obviously Derek and Taylor engaged, but Adam, Raven, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so it was nothing, but yeah, I just got some really great friends out of it.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Diggy, as he said, and as we said, is from Chicago. He was clowning us about the cold off mic. Yet we did not see him on Winter Games, where you could have been skiing and boats, all them winter sports. So why weren't you on Winter Games?
I don't know. Well, I think I kind of know. So a couple things. I think they asked a lot of people, like, would you be interested? And one thing people don't know about me is I referee college basketball as well. And so between November and now, this is my busiest time of the year. And once you get to the collegiate level, it's really hard to do certain stuff. So when they were like, yeah, we'll be filming in December, and I was like, well, you can count me out. So yeah, I kind of eliminated myself from even potential consideration. Not sure if they would even ask me, but it's more of an interesting. Hey, are you interested in? We're gonna be filming, and then are you available? They told me December. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. So
okay.
So I don't know if I would have got picked or not, but I think when you have a cast of 8, 9, I think I really liked Josiah because Josiah is hilarious. So I think the fact that Josiah can get a chance to go back on TV. And the thing is, we become really close in as far as the guys in the house. So I don't need to be on The Bachelorette and Live Paradise and then Bachelor Winter Games. Like I know Josiah because Josiah's a lawyer, so he doesn't have probably as flexible a work schedule as I do. So he couldn't take off a month to go film Paradise potentially. I don't know if they asked him or not, but it probably was a lot easier for him to take off like a couple weeks. Probably a couple weeks, and then we did like 4 episodes to go film that. So, so yeah, I'm all for getting that.
Okay. Little Josiah got a little chance.
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
So, if you were on Winter Games, which girls would you have gone for?
Bibiana.
Wow, that was quick.
That was super fast.
Wow.
Make sure you edit that out. I need some time.
You gotta shoot your shot in the DMs.
I need some time. No, I thought from Arie season, I mean, if you look at the tweets, you probably could saw, like, when she got sent home, I was upset. But I think she's super dope from what I've seen. I haven't met her or anything like that. So, it definitely would have been Bibiana. Claire, I thought was cute, and I was really pissed at Chris, the German or whatever. Like, yo, you haven't kissed her yet?
Yeah.
Like, bro, you were in a house with no TV, no internet, no phone.
Right? What else y'all doing?
I mean, I would have been out there slapping her down. Like, I don't understand why. Like, bro, what you doing?
Oh my God, that's funny.
So yeah, that's kind of how. I would say if I had to pick.
Okay.
It probably would have been her. I think Ashley I has a great personality too.
Oof. That's an aggressive personality.
She's a lot. She's a lot.
Aggressive. It's more okay. I mean, I still think she has a great personality. She's more so outgoing and stuff like that. And so if you're somebody I'm attracted to, somebody who can give me shit because I'm gonna talk shit, and if you can give it to me back, it's gonna be great. So that's probably what I would say. Somebody who's not quiet. Like I can tell Bibiana probably talks shit nonstop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of great. So but yeah, if I had to pick somebody, it'd probably be one of those 3.
Okay. Well, those are good choices.
Those are. We were really rooting for Bibiana. So.
Yeah, and Claire too. I think.
Yes, and Claire.
It's about time she found some love.
Yes.
So. Yes. Well, yeah, she found her love.
She sure
did.
did.
She definitely did. So Arie's season was just so boring and awful and just a tragedy. The ending was so ridiculous how they dragged it on for weeks and hours and just made us watch this uncut footage, yada, yada, yada. And at the end, it really left at least us thinking that there are some changes that need to be made. What changes do you think need to be made to this franchise as someone who has been behind the scenes?
They need a person of color.
Thank you.
Yes!
I mean, I'm a big proponent of, like, change it up. Like, person of color. We finally got a black president. Thought we were going to get a female president. We did not, but I think change is good. And I think that's something that could kind of revive the franchise. Because, I mean, I don't know how long you guys were watching it. I watched Paradise for the last 2 years. I don't know how you guys do it, but all these leads look the same to me. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, obviously they have different personalities and stuff like that, but I'm all down for, like, somebody who could be different. I appreciate the differences in people. And so I think if you have the opportunity to, like, all right, you know what? This person, it's their time. Let's try something different. Let's go down one road. On the flip side, I do think like I said, this is the analyst in me for my job. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's probably the mentality that they're getting. They're getting 10 million viewers for the most part, regardless of it's a, woman lead, male lead, white lead, black lead. They did the Hispanic with, I heard, Juan Pablo or whatever. So if their viewership's going to change, what incentive do they have to take that risk? And that's probably what the producers are in casting are probably thinking. But I do think as we evolved in 2018, we have more than enough great candidates to put on that. Like Eric, myself, I'll end the list there.
We see what you're doing, Diggy.
Wow.
just in case ABC is listening. You got two choices, ABC.
Right.
You got me or Eric. Eric, if you're listening, if you get on, I expect a guest appearance. So, no, I think that's what they need to switch it up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, listen, I'm going to be real. Like, after 13 seasons of The Bachelorette, 20 plus seasons of The Bachelor, how much longer does this go on?
Exactly.
Like, it's like, so I don't know. I feel like that's what I would like to see. I'm not like a super loyal viewer, but I mean, I would hope, and I know a lot of people of all races that were really excited, that rocked with Rachel, who said, like, I'm glad about time, all this stuff, so I think they probably do something.
Yeah, and like you said, you appreciate the differences in people, and that's what, as a black viewer, we're sitting watching, the differences in us. For hours and hours and hours and years and years and years. We need to see somebody who looks like us on TV. Tired of appreciating.
And not even about the black viewers, because even we have a lot of white listeners on our podcast that email us like, we love hearing your perspective. It's so cool, because there's no other podcasters of color who are talking about The Bachelor. And so, I think they almost underestimate their white viewers as well, that they want to see the same shit every season. Like,
it's true. They don't.
Right.
Especially out here in Chicago. I've seen so many white girls with black dudes that, of course, that's what they want to see.
It's true.
So, they probably more mad than you guys are. Like,
yeah.
So,
Probably.
I'm all for it, whatever it is. But I do think it's time for change, and I think we've had some candidates on the season, not necessarily just my season. Like I said, they got some people to choose from. So I think it'd be good if it could happen.
Yeah, well, we'll keep hoping and praying.
Yeah, we will.
See.
Well, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show. This was such a great conversation and really, really insightful. And people can find you at morethanattie.com, right, on your blog. And on your social media, if you could just say your handles real quick.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram, both the same, Diggy Moreland, DIGGYMORELAND. And yeah, pretty active on both of them.
Nice. Cool. And are you doing anything fun or creative that you want to share?
Just working on my blog. I've always been into fashion and stuff like that, so I'm kind of working on just getting a lot of articles. I write all the content on my site, and then just hearing about what the people want to hear about, and then I just write about some things that I like, some things that I think guys could use as advice, because I think guys don't like to put too much effort into their look, but I kind of want to dispel that myth that, hey, if you do, good things can happen. So
yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll keep watching you. We really appreciate you coming on. This was awesome. We want to remind all our listeners to please rate, review, and subscribe. You can also, interact with us on Twitter. Our handle is the number 2, BLK Girls, the number 1, Rose.
And you can always email us at the number 2, Black Girls, the number 1, Rose @gmail.com.
And we are taking a 2-week hiatus.
We need a little break.
We need a break. We've been pumping out this content. I need to go on vacation.
Yep.
So we will see y'all in 2 weeks. Back with some more goodness. All right. All right. Well, thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.